Hello and welcome to another Coastin With Quayz coaster analysis. Today we will be taking a look at the recently announced B&M Giga Dive Coaster Tormenta Rampaging Run at Six Flags Over Texas. Let's not waste any time in taking a look at this new coaster. This will be the first time that a dive coaster is also a Giga coaster. In fact, this coaster is going to be breaking a number of different records. So let's jump in and take a look at some of Tormenta's stats. Tormenta will have a maximum height of 309 feet, which is insane because that's about 60 or 64 feet taller than the tallest dive coaster in existence. Its drop will be 285 feet with a 95-degree beyond vertical drop. It will also feature the fastest dive coaster speed at 87 miles per hour, the tallest Immelman at 218 feet, the tallest vertical loop at 179 feet, and it will be the longest dive coaster at almost 4,200 feet of track. The stats for this coaster are absolutely insane. I think there's some parts of this ride that are going to be exceptional, but then there's a couple parts that kind of have me a little bit confused. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what I think is going to be awesome about this dive coaster. First things first, that 309-foot tall drop looks absolutely insane. I've been on Wrath of Rakshasa and Iron Menace, which both feature over 90-degree drops, and they are awesome. And they're really about half the height of this ride. So that sounds completely wild. Also, that first Immelman being over 200 feet is pretty crazy in itself. There's many roller coasters that aren't even that tall with their first drop, so the fact that the first inversion of this ride is that tall is pretty wild. The vertical loop also looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The vertical loop on Yukon Striker is really forceful, so I'm hoping that this one's the same. The only difference is the one on Yukon Striker is quite a bit more compact than this, so hopefully with this one being so large, it still has some pretty good positive forces. Another positive has to be the 4,199 feet of track. I don't think anyone can complain that this B&M dive is too short. Now let's talk about some concerns that I have for this ride. First of all, this ride features 3 Immelmans. Most B&M dive coasters have an Immelman right after the first drop, so that's expected. But there's also a second one right before the mid-course brake run, and then a third one right after the mid-course brake run after you go down the second diving drop. I think a little bit more diversity in the inversions could have helped this ride. Iron Menace and Wrath of Rakshasa both feature some unique inversions for dive coasters, so something like those on a much larger scale would have been pretty cool for Tormenta. Another concern that I have is the size of that mid-course brake run. It is so big, and I have a feeling that it's going to kill the momentum and the pacing of this ride. It probably takes a solid 5 or 6 seconds to get through the entire thing. After the drop, you have 2 more final inversions, the second of which looks interesting. It's kind of like a cutback / stall / inverting top hat, but it doesn't quite go vertical. Overall, I think that Tormenta is going to be an excellent ride. I think it's worth a ride for that drop alone. 309 feet tall, 285-foot drop, 87 miles per hour. It's going to be awesome. Will it be the best B&M dive coaster? That's yet to be seen, but I can't wait to get down to Six Flags Over Texas to get my first ride on it. Those are my first thoughts on Tormenta and my analysis. Let me know in the comments what you think about this ride and whether you plan on riding it or not. And until next time, keep on coasting.